This video is brought to you by Ground News. If you've been following the Canadian election, you'll notice that only two figures have dominated the headlines: Liberal leader Mark Carney and Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre. Although Canada has a multi-party system, there's been very little media attention directed at either NDP leader Jagmeet Singh or Bloc Québécois leader Yves-François Blanchet. Both have struggled following the accession of Carney, and if they have a disappointing result for their respective parties, they could be on the way out. So in this video, we'll be taking a look at why the NDP and Bloc have fallen and what the future of these parties might be. Never miss an episode and always feel in the loop by subscribing and ringing the bell. First, why have the NDP and Bloc lost support? Well, it's a variety of things. Like all matters regarding Canadian politics, it begins with Trump, who's repeatedly threatened the Canadian economy with tariffs and expressed desires for Canada to become the 51st state. Canadians hold a very low opinion of the US president, with Trump having a favourability rating of -61% in the country. With Canadians despising and also fearing a Trump presidency, many want stability in the federal government, and have thus flocked to the two big parties. This consolidation raises the chances of either big party receiving a majority in Parliament, which would keep the government in power till 2029, just past the second Trump term. To put it bluntly, many Canadians are anxious of what Trump's term will bring, and are willing to vote pragmatically if it means they'll get consistency with the federal government for the next few years. Nonetheless, both the NDP and the Bloc have their own issues which have put off voters. Let's focus on the NDP. Leader Jagmeet Singh has the lowest approval of all the major federal leaders, with Angus Reid putting him at -25. This stands in marked contrast to the 2011 election, when the NDP won 103 seats, nearly 70 ahead of the Liberals, and became the official opposition for the first time in history. This was largely due to the popularity of then NDP leader Jack Layton. Layton was a very popular figure in Canada, and still is today, with 28% of Canadians saying Layton was the best opposition leader who never became Prime Minister, dominating the field. Layton campaigned in 2011 with prostate cancer and died later that year. The party then elected Tom Mulcair as its party leader in 2012, but lost a ton of ground in the 2015 election to Justin Trudeau and the Liberals, with 56 seats switching from orange to red nationally. Mulcair subsequently resigned as leader, and the NDP went searching for a dynamic leader who could challenge Trudeau, and thought that they'd found that in Singh. Like Trudeau, Singh was a young man, at least in political terms, and was the first visible minority to lead a major federal party in Canada. The idea was that Singh could bring young people and people of colour to the party and prove as an effective counterbalance to the Liberals. Singh was even the most popular federal leader in both the 2019 and 2021 elections. However, in the 2019 election, the NDP lost 15 seats, and in 2021 held steady, only gaining 1 seat. In early 2022, Singh formed a supply and confidence deal with Trudeau, pledging to back the Liberals till the fall of 2025, when a new election would have to be scheduled. Singh was able to extract policy concessions from this agreement, such as expanding healthcare access to cover diabetes and birth control medications, and granting more Canadians dental care benefits. However, with Trudeau's falling popularity, Singh ripped up the supply and confidence deal in September 2024, but still continued to prop up the Liberals in non-confidence votes, earning the ire of many voters who thought Singh wanted the benefits of making a break with Trudeau, but refused to actually do anything about it. Now, with Trudeau gone, Singh has been left with all the political baggage of the last 5 years. This has left the polling situation dire, and even long-time NDP MPs are now vulnerable. Veteran MPs Brian Mass and Don Davies faced tough re-election campaigns in Windsor West and Vancouver Kingsway respectively, according to 338 Canada, and Peter Julian, NDP House Leader, could lose his seat in New Westminster to 25-year-old Liberal upstart Jake Sawatsky. With the NDP expected to lose many ridings, Singh's leadership of the party is likely done after this cycle. So let's turn our attention to the Bloc Québécois, which, under leader Yves-François Blanchet, has also suffered a downturn. Unlike Singh, this isn't to do with Blanchet personally. He still enjoys a pretty good approval rating with a +7 among voters in Quebec, the only province where they run candidates, behind only Mark Carney, who holds a +18 approval in Quebec. By comparison, Singh and Poilievre have Quebec approval ratings of -14 and -46 respectively. Unfortunately for the Bloc, however, Quebecers, like many Canadians, are consolidating their support between the two biggest parties, with most Quebecois apparently preferring the Liberals to the Conservatives. This has left little room for the Bloc, and while they don't talk about separating from Canada as much as they used to, being seen as a separatist party in the province when patriotism is at an all-time high isn't helping their cause. According to 338 Canada, they're projected to be in the high teens or low 20s in terms of seat count, a reduction in their current seat count of 33, and in turn, making a certain video we made in January very outdated. So, if the current polling holds, what's the future of these parties? Well, in terms of the NDP, as alluded to earlier, they'll likely undergo a leadership change. Candidates like Brian Topp, an NDP strategist and former aide to Jack Layton, Manitoba MP Nikki Ashton, or Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew, with Kinew being seen as an early favourite among dippers if he jumps in. But the main takeaway is that Singh, unless he posts an unbelievable result, is done as leader of the NDP. Among the Bloc, their future seems much more steady. It's possible that with the unique circumstances regarding this election, the Bloc dismisses it as a one-off and keeps Blanchet. Blanchet is also popular among members, with 97% of party supporters backing him as leader in 2023. While it's possible losing a third of the caucus could have Blanchet sacked, his position is way more secure than Singh's. In conclusion, the NDP and Bloc's downturn showcases how volatile Canadian politics can be. While these parties may experience some short-term turmoil, they can definitely turn it around for the future, and won't be going anywhere anytime soon. There's a lot to unpack here though, with this story about Canada's upcoming election reported on by more than 97 sources. Interestingly, we can see that 54% came from left-leaning outlets, while 26% came from outlets that lean right. Looking at the headlines, you can also see some differences, with left-leaning sources focusing on the shortcomings of Pierre Poilievre's Conservative Party, and right-leaning sources focusing on Trump's impact on Canadian politics. We're able to do that because of our sponsor Ground News, whose incredible website and app lets you discover the news and pulls back the curtain on media bias. Built by a former NASA engineer on a mission to give readers an easy, data-driven, objective way to read the news, with Ground News ingesting over 50,000 articles from all over the world, and then organising each by story. For each and every story, you can see the number of reporting sources, where these sources lean on the political spectrum at an individual level and group level, compare the headlines of each source, and read each article all without ever leaving the app. But one of the best parts of the app is their blind spot feed. It presents you with stories and articles that haven't been reported on by one side of the aisle or the other, helping you better break out of your media bubble and discover what those on the other side of the political spectrum are really saying. Ground News is such a useful tool for our current media landscape, and I think an app like this will only become more essential as the media landscape continues to evolve. If you're interested in everything that Ground News has to offer, you can get 40% off the unlimited Access Vantage plan using the link in the description, or by scanning the QR code. This offer is only available here, so make sure you go to ground.news/TLDR or click the link in the description to get started and support an independent news platform working to make the media landscape more transparent.